What's going on, guys? My name's Kyle, and today's video is going to be about how to add value to your products for Amazon FBA. So when you're on Amazon and you're starting to sell a product, a lot of times there's a good amount of competition, or people will end up coming to what you're the same product that you're selling, and you need to make sure that you add more value than other people selling the exact same product. So the best way to go about doing that, other than just having a really solid product to begin with, is product bundling. So basically what that means is that you have a product and you bundle it. So your main product, let's say it's $15, and you bundle it usually with something that's really inexpensive to make, but it adds value to your listing. So what that does as a consumer, for the consumer, is that they're comparing all these products that are very similar, but then yours adds a little bit of extra value, and they're willing to pay either pay more for the product, or if they're the same price, they'd rather have the one with the extra freebie along with your listing. So I have a bunch of examples of different bundling products and how they do better on Amazon in general, and you'll see usually with bundled products they're usually at the top of the first page, just because they tend to do better. So the first example that we have is the Angleizer template tool, and you'll see on here a lot of them will be offering a little carrying case with the bag. Probably costs them a few cents to have this silly little bag to put the product in. But people like that, and if they're going to choose between, all of these look very similar, so if they're going to choose between getting the bag and not getting the bag, most people would opt for getting the bag. And so that's a great way to help indecisive buyers choose your listing to buy off of versus other listings. Other little add-ons that people are doing was the little bubble level. So if we click on this one, you can see that it has a little level built in to the Angleizer template tool, and so that maybe costs an extra couple cents as well, but that's a huge value that you're adding to your product, and that will make people want to buy that product. So that's one example. The next example I have is yoga mats. So generally a very competitive niche to try to sell in, but as you can see, the top few sellers, these top ones are just sponsored, so they're advertisements, but the organic top three, they all have these little carrying cases on it, or carrying strap. The carrying strap probably costs a few cents, right? It's not that expensive as a the supplier of these goods to add that in to the product and sell it like that. But as a consumer, I'm much more wanting to buy that product because of the carrying strap versus the other ones that don't have it. Because especially if all things are equal, why would you not go for the more value product? And then on top of that, you could even sell these for more because they add that extra value. Even though for you as the provider, it only costs you a few cents, you can mark it up a few dollars. And so that's a huge difference in your profit margins. It's not adding a lot of weight. It's not adding any more bulk to the package that you're giving, but it adds a lot more value to the product. And so it's all about adding more perceived value, and which makes consumers more likely to buy your product, even though it's really not worth the extra $3, because you're adding it in. A lot of people will opt in for that specific product. The next example I have are whiteboards on Amazon. If you look at whiteboards, the first few that come up organically, they all come with a free little expo, or I guess they're the whiteboard markers and the eraser. And so for this one right here, it's going for $40. And so how much more does it cost to throw in the little pen and eraser? Maybe 10 cents. But because it comes with that and the little magnets, maybe 15 cents more for them to throw that into the package. Overall, I'm more willing to buy that product because it has those extra little things. Same thing with these little tennis rackets. Obviously there's huge brands, so there's other things at play. But if all things were created equal, and you weren't sure like which one to get, you're probably more likely to buy the ones with a carrying case. And maybe like this one comes with a carrying case. Maybe if they threw in a tennis ball or something, you'd be more willing to buy that specific racket, assuming you didn't have a preference in brand and other things like that. You'd be more likely to buy that. And then on top of that, even if there's not a huge difference between, or there is a difference between all the different tennis rackets, your specific racket seems like it's worth more because you're offering that extra carrying case, which in reality probably isn't that expensive for you to outsource, but people like that. The next one, you can bundle the same exact product. So a lot of times you'll see, like these shaker bottles, there's 3 of them. There's a 3-pack, right? Or a 2-pack, or usually like there's 3 packs, or, a lot of things are sold as bundles. If you buy, socks, it usually comes in like a 6-pack. Or if you buy, think of like cases of water, you're buying it in bulk. And so a lot of things, if you give them more, it seems like it's worth double the price, but for you, you're not paying double the price because a big factor is shipping costs for you, Amazon fees. So you can charge close to double what you were originally going to, but your fees go down because of the bundling, and you're paying less for shipping and everything like that. So that's a great way to make more money off of your product. It looks better because there's obviously more value there. They can get 2 cheaper than if they just bought the single one twice, so they're more likely to go for the bigger purchase to get that deal. Last example is DSLR cameras. This is like really obvious. If you scroll through here, almost every other one is coming with all these different little kits or different lenses. This one has like 16 different things that come with it. But as a consumer, I'm more likely to buy that. I know that everything's going to work with it, and it looks like there's so much more value. I'm willing to spend the extra money to get something that has all those little things, already packaged together, so I'm all set to go to use the product, versus me having to go out and look and buy all these little things. Especially if the things that you're adding in, like the carrying case, a tripod, a hand grip, all those little things are so inexpensive compared to the main product, but you can mark it up significantly higher because it's all bundled together with that main product. So that's a great example. So with all these different examples, now you're thinking, okay, so I have my product, but I have no idea, how do I even bundle a product? Do I need to send them all to myself? What is the best way to bundle my product for Amazon FBA? And so what you need to do is, if you go onto Alibaba.com or whatever website you're using to contact your suppliers, there's 2 ways you can do it. Well, 3. One of them is just send everything to yourself and repackage them. That's super expensive and a waste of your time, so I would not recommend that. The other 2 options are, 1, you find a supplier that offers both of those products. So for example, I looked up Angleizer with bag, and I found this one, and they have a picture and it already has the bag in that level. So that would be a great supplier to go through because they already have everything, and you only have to go through one supplier. They'll package everything together for you. It'll be all nice, and that's it. Now, the other option you have that gives you more like wiggle room and will be harder to replicate is if you go through 2 separate suppliers. So what will happen is you contact one supplier. They will make one of, so like the add-on, let's say. So let's say you're selling Angleizers, but you want the little carrying case, but your Angleizer supplier they won't make the carrying case for you. They don't know where to get it. So you go contact another company off of Alibaba.com. You say, okay, I want carrying cases for Angleizers, this dimension, so you make sure that it'll fit, and then you can say, okay, I just want them delivered to my other supplier's location. right? So you send the small add-on to your main supplier's location, and then your main supplier will package everything up, and then that's when they send it to your warehouse in the US or wherever you're selling and for Amazon. So the shipping from that smaller or the one supplier to the other should be relatively inexpensive because it's really close. They could just do ground shipping from one supplier to the other, and it's better off to do it that way rather than pay for 2 loads separately coming across, whether it be by sea or by air all the way to the US, and then figure out how to package it here. It's definitely the way to go, to have those 2 contacts and then make them work together to package it all up for you and then have it as one cohesive product when you're shipping it out to your Amazon warehouse, wherever you're doing business. So I hope that makes sense with how to bundle your products, how much value you can get by bundling, and really it just makes sense no matter what niche you are. If you can find something to bundle, whether it be really inexpensive or just maybe a similarly priced item, if you know that your consumers are looking for both of those things and you combine them together, your product has so much more value than your competitors, and you'll crush the competition using that bundling tactic. Hope you guys liked the video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks.